Hello everyone, welcome back to the Why series, and today the topic that we are going to discuss it is why India is important to US, right? This is a very basic topic and we are covering it from GS perspective and not from optional perspective, because many of the students are here who are attending these lectures because they have PSIR as their optional subject. So this is going to be a very basic thing for GS, and that too for the beginners. This is not for like the people who have already read a lot and they know about the basics and the advanced things about Indo-US relations. We have to just start it for the beginners. And remember, this Y series is for those who are just initiating themselves into preparing for IAS exam, right? So now let's try understand this entire thing, and while we will be understanding about why India is important for US, we will first have a little bit of historical discussion, right? The historical roots. So when India became independent in 1947, India adopted a democratic setup with a republican setup, right, where the head of the state is going to be an elected person, and these two values were very important to the US administration at that time. So the beginning of independent India, the journey that was started by independent India with emphasis on democracy and republican character, it was much appreciated by the United States of America. Along with this, if we all remember, USA too fought a war of independence against Britain, and USA became independent on 4th of July 1776 after fighting a long battle against Britain. So yes, USA also values the idea of anti-colonialism, right? So USA, by the time India became independent, had understood the idea of anti-racism, and because of the ideas like civil war in US in 1861, whereafter the institution of slavery was also banned in US, the idea of equality has always and already been much appreciated in USA. So independent India that emphasized on ideas of democracy, republicanism, equality, anti-racism, anti-colonialism, there was much bonhomie between India and USA. So the relations could have started at a very good note. But now, knowing that when India became independent, at that point of time the world was going through the phase of Cold War. It was the beginning of Cold War after World War II, and the two groups, the two lobbies, one led by USA and the other by erstwhile USSR, the capitalist and the communist lobbies, they were in a race to make sure that most of the third world countries should follow them. At that point of time, our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he came up with the new idea of non-alignment, that NAM movement, which was started to be conceived immediately at the time of Indian independence, and then that Bandung Conference and Belgrade events during 1950s and 60s, which finally gave shape to non-alignment movement. So this non-alignment movement made USA a little bit suspicious about India, and then India adopting 5-year plan which was in sync with the Soviet communism, and then India turning into being a kind of a socialist state made USA have some sort of suspicions against India. And during the Cold War, when Pakistan joined hands with United States of America, joining the lobbies, joining the military alliances, so Pakistan and America became closer, and in the meanwhile, to break the bonhomie between two strong communist players, USA and China, USSR and China, USA also tried to bring China closer to USA. So it was because of the implications of Cold War that initially during the 1960s and 1970s, USA, China and Pakistan, they started coming closer to each other. Now that China, USA, Pakistan were coming closer to each other, India had no other option but to have a tilt towards USSR, which became all the more evident during the 1971 Indo-Pak War, more popularly called Bangladesh War. Right. So this is how historically the relations were being defined, that despite the fact that at the time of independence USA and India shared lot of values, but because of the Cold War implications, USA turned closer to China and Pakistan at the cost of India, and that is why India had to have a tilt towards USSR. But once it was the end of the Cold War, the disintegration of USSR during the 1990s, that USSR disintegrated, and with the disintegration of USSR, the Cold War came to an end. Now the international scene started changing, and because the international scene was changing, it was US that has emerged as a hegemonic power globally. Then came a new turning point in the history, which was 9/11, the US attacks on United States of America, after which USA started its war on terror, that global war on terror, right? With this global war on terror that United States of America started after 9/11 in 2001, now Pakistan again became very crucial for United States of America, and this is the time when India is also free from the Cold War obligations and can make flexible her own, like India's relations with any and every country. So at a time when Pakistan became crucial for America, at the same time America now understood the importance of India as well, right? It was during the war against terror that United States of America understood that India, being one of the biggest victims of terrorism, state sponsored terrorism from across the border, now we need to understand the stand of India, the viewpoint of India, the expertise of India to fight against terrorism and whatnot. So this is the point where United States of America and India started coming closer to each other, and in the meanwhile, during the beginning of 2000s, it was the rise of assertive China. China all of a sudden has become a global economic might, the manufacturing center of the world, and at the same time the cyber teams of China have become all the more aggressive. They were aiming against the United States of America, and China was trying to manipulate the situation in the Indian Ocean region. All this goes against the basic doctrines of the United States of America. Now, what are the basic features or doctrines of United States of America, be it polity or economy or whatever? So USA stands for democracy, and remember, China being a communist state, it is believed that it is not truly a democratic state. Then America believes in free trade. Obviously, yes, China being a communist state, it doesn't believe in free trade. Then America believes in human rights, value of human rights, and it is always alleged that China is not for that. America believes in non-proliferation, and it is always known that China helped both Pakistan and North Korea to develop their nukes, right? So the relations between America and China now started going into a spin, and America wanted to control the assertive rise of China. In the meanwhile, China now started challenging US for the sea lanes of commerce, when China started flexing its arms in South China Sea, East China Sea, as well as Indian Ocean, right? Now all these things made America understand the significance of India to contain the rise of China. So India and China today are seen by America with a simple one prism, and the prism is protect democracy, protect free trade, protect human rights, emphasize on non-proliferation, and ensure free sea lanes of commerce. So for all these things, America believes that India can be a strategic partner, and that is why America is now standing with India, and helping India gain a lot of importance at a time when India has become a non-permanent member of the UNSC, United Nations Security Council. Now America is once again exploring the idea of democratizing and expanding this institution, which still lives in the shadow of Cold War. So America at this point of time is investing a lot in India, not just economically but diplomatically, technologically, and in every manner possible to make India face the rise of assertive China. And the values which we have already emphasized upon, they are the values which America want to protect, and while protecting these values, America want to strengthen India, because India and America have a convergence on these value systems. Beyond this, another point that we need to keep in mind is that Indian diaspora in America has become an asset as well as a very important political tool for managing the relations between India and United States of America, whereas the Chinese in United States of America are now seen through the prism of another thing. What is that? 1,000 grains of sand, right? If you know about that 1,000 grains of sand. So yes, China's presence, the presence of Chinese people in US is seen with a little suspicion by the intelligence agencies, whereas Indians are now seen as a strength as well as an asset in United States of America. So with these basic points, I would like you guys now to have a look at two important articles which I will be sharing in today's in the Telegram group. One is this article, right? This is a very important article. It is United States will remain India's key partner across all domains in future. This came on 24th Feb 2020. It's a very important article, still not have lost its sheen. It will help you guys to read and understand Indo-US relations. I will share it once we are done with the class. And then there is another article. This is bolster India's rise to counter China challenge, secret US strategy for Indo-Pacific. I have explained the basic things in both these articles. Now you have to just read them, and this is the most recent articles, right? This is one of the most recent articles. Once you read these two articles, your answer for India, US, China, this strategic relationship between India and USA to counter the rise of China, you will be in a position to tackle any and every question that can be asked in your mains, right? With this, we sign off for the day, and Piyush sir will take over with his series, and then see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck. Thank you everyone.